Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Shackcast episode 4. Today, we're going to be talking about 2020 console launches, video games, and the Xbox Game Pass. So, let's first get started by talking about the consoles. So, we've seen both consoles have been revealed. We've seen the PS5, we've seen the Xbox Series X. We've seen the new controllers, the way the consoles look. We've seen data about what's in the box and stuff like that, to get a good idea that these are going to sort of emulate or technically be as good as high-end PCs, ray tracing included, all that stuff. So it's very exciting that we now kind of know all this info except for the price and maybe the release date, other than this holiday. So when it comes down to the games that they've announced, there's really only been a few on both sides that have excited me, which is ultimately kind of a good thing, because that means that whether you're buying on PlayStation or Xbox, you are seeing games that are for a multitude of people, different genres, different art styles, different gameplay, all sorts of new risks being taken, right? So on the PS5, there's really only a few, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, I'm on board for that, being a comic nerd here. Deathloop and Returnal look really cool as sort of these games where they're going to sort of justify game overs as facilitating the story. We have Horizon Forbidden West, which is our sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. Then we have Project Athia, which to me just looked really interesting, and probably the most interesting thing I saw because it just mystified me. And then, of course, we have that surprise announcement of Demon's Souls, which I have never played, so I might consider jumping in on that. Now, on the Xbox side, once again, only a few games really grab me because, there's some that I'm just not into. But Halo Infinite looked absolutely stunning when they showed their 4K 60 FPS gameplay, saying that it's going to be open world this time around, and sort of our notice of the grapple shot that we saw in early images that they released of the key art for Halo Infinite. We had noticed that, and we thought that kind of looks like a grapple, but how would that work? No way. And then sure enough, it works feasibly, to pull you in towards your enemies. You can pull fusion coils and other things towards you and use that as a weapon. And then, of course, you can use it for navigation, which for an open world game, means that we'll be able to soar to new heights. There's going to be some verticality in the game. And the new guns look cool. The old guns look cool. The Warthog looked great. Looked like the handling was on point. Once again, they did say that they would have 2-player split screen and 4-player co-op online. So it's ticking all the boxes that it needs to, and we'll find out more as we go. Some people were complaining about the visuals, and I guess really 343 just needs to sort of get in front of that and justify whether is this early footage, is this an art choice, whatever it may be. But the idea is that Halo Infinite is a spiritual reboot for the Halo series, and so it's evoking a lot of the feelings of playing Halo for the first time when you first crash land in your drop pod and you get out, and there's this beautiful world, and you're on the ring, and you walk up to your first Warthog and hop in, start driving around and going to different places, and then you meet up with the Covenant. So really cool, really excited about that. Next up on my Xbox list here, Avowed, an Obsidian RPG. It's sort of based in the Middle Ages. All on board with that. I'm really glad to see something like that coming from them. It looked gorgeous, and I can't wait to see more on that. That might be even just more than finally seeing Halo Infinite. I feel like Avowed was the thing that blew my socks off, which maybe it shouldn't have been. I feel like Halo should have been the one that did that. But they really just showed us gameplay. Like, they didn't really do anything that blew our socks off. Like, the gameplay was great, but like, they didn't come in with the big Halo theme or aggressive cutscenes or even aggressive gameplay. It was kind of just a casual walkthrough, and they shot a few enemies, and the music was not very, it just didn't evoke the Marty O'Donnell triumphant Halo music that really rides with you. It was very sort of passive. But that's okay though. Maybe we'll see more of that down the road. Big surprise announcement was that Fable is coming back. That's very exciting. State of Decay 3, of course, getting a sequel here. Always enjoyed the State of Decay games. That's been a really fun one. I'm excited to see where this takes the series. The last one was co-op. Are they going to continue with that? And this one looked kind of darker and more gritty. I almost thought it was something Last of Us related, in just the style that it was. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. That has piqued my interest in a very different way. So I'm excited to see how that goes. After that, we had the Outer Worlds, talking about DLC, and absolutely amazing. I can't wait. That was once again another great game that just came out of nowhere and just did so well and introduced us to this whole new world. I really enjoyed my time with Outer Worlds. So if they're gonna justify us jumping back in that universe for more time with the crew of the Unreliable, then I'm absolutely ready for that. So, I mean, that to me, those are my highlights. Other people may have more or less games on either platform, but I'm excited for both. And I guess in this new climate, we need to talk about the consoles themselves. Xbox has taken this approach where they really just want you on Game Pass. They really just want you playing on their platform. And by platform, I don't necessarily mean Xbox console. They will have the games on the Xbox One. They'll have them on the Series X, but they will also have them on PC. And they're mentioning that all this is coming to Game Pass. Everything you saw at the Xbox showcase, it'll be on Game Pass day one. So, your $15 a month or whatever it is, that's going to get you in the door on a lot of experiences. So maybe, some of these games that you might not be as interested in, you might check them out. You might click on it on Game Pass and give it a go. And that's been one of the greatest things about Game Pass for me, is that even though I love owning games and, for mainline entries, things like Halo Infinite, I'm of course going to want to have a copy to hang on the wall. And, same with a lot of other games here. But this gives me a chance to play them and check them out, make sure it's good. I can have it downloaded. Here's so to sort of think about this, how I use it as a PC gamer, right? I can rebuy Halo on Steam, on the Xbox app, but I own Halo. I've bought every Halo on every console that it's come out on. I wasn't excited to buy the Master Chief Collection again until it goes on sale again, which, usually it's around the $40 mark-ish. And so Game Pass has allowed me to just download and jump in, and I feel good about that. I already have Halo on my wall, and, sure, maybe someday I'll want to, own it and make it part of my permanent collection on PC. But for now, that's doing just fine. Same with Gears 5, Gears Tactics, Minecraft Dungeons. I was able to check out all these games that would normally just be another $60, out of my pocket. And so instead of spending, $300 across 5 games or so, whatever it may be, I'm able to check these out, and maybe some games have more replayability than others. Some may not be worth that price tag. But the cool thing about it is I have the freedom to play all these games. And I remember as a kid when I couldn't afford more than a game every couple of months or whatever it may have been, I would often be waiting for my birthday and Christmas, which are both, birthdays in September, Christmas in December. That's a long time to wait for, all these games, all these really cool games, and to be just, begging and having to figure out which ones you wanted all year long. So, sort of the same approach there. When I had a job, it was like I had to be really picky. And now with the sort of, I'm on Game Pass Ultimate here, so I can still load everything up on my Xbox. That includes my Xbox Live Gold subscription is now a part of Game Pass. And then, of course, I have, as part of Ultimate, I have it on my PC, which means I can go in the Xbox app and I can download stuff there. So it's not just first-party Xbox titles, it's third-party games. The Outer Worlds is a strong example of a game that I played exclusively on Game Pass, and it was worth it. It was worth the ride, and I'd happily buy the game, but I was glad that I was able to sort of do this and check it out, and I didn't have any issues, didn't have any problems with it, and it's been a fun experience. So that is Xbox's angle. They say, hey, get on this subscription, or, play wherever you want to be, because the games will be there regardless of whether you're on Game Pass or not. But Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. If you want to play lots of games and you want to be able to play all the big hits plus all the indie stuff, you might find that there's something new out there that you totally didn't know about that's going to hit Game Pass one day, and you're going to check it out and be like, wow, I would have missed this. So that's one way that it's been really helping out indie developers, but they really just want you playing their games. So they don't really mind whether you're on PC or on Xbox One or Series X, whatever it may be. So to me as a PC gamer now, but very much an Xbox fan, I'm very confused. I don't know. Like, I want to buy an Xbox, but I'm like, I don't need it. My PC might be better in some ways. I know maybe some of the ray tracing stuff is, I don't have an RTX card. I'm rocking a 1070 here. So some of that, makes me want to like, oh man, maybe I should get it just for collector's purposes, or, maybe it'll just rival my PC a little bit. Maybe I can give it a little break on some of these games. It's hard to. So that's part of the angle I don't get. Like I get that they're gonna make a boatload of money, with this other approach to it, but we're so used to you gotta hawk consoles, man. You gotta sell those consoles. And so it kind of feels like they don't really care, and it's like, so should I even buy an Xbox console now? But to each their own, and I don't judge either way. I think I'll probably get one at some point, but it's very low priority with the way that they are running things, and I really like this more open way that they're approaching things. It's less about exclusives and being exclusive and stuff like that. It's more about, let's just make gaming available to the widest audience that they can. So I like that. So getting back to sort of Sony, knowing that, they got these incredible exclusives, and that's always kind of been their thing, and I'm very anti-exclusive, but at the same time, it's like, I gotta get them. So I think I probably will be getting a PS5 as soon as I can. I'm not sure how that's gonna go down in this market during COVID-19. We don't know how many consoles they're gonna produce. Pre-ordering is gonna be like. Whether we'll be waiting in line to pick those up. How is all that gonna work in a pandemic? So those are all the doubts that come along with it. But there's a very strong launch of games for both consoles, and I know I'm gonna have to get a PS5. And one of the biggest reasons I'm excited is not even for new games. It's really just to, like, let's put in Ghost of Tsushima. Let's put in The Last of Us Part 2. I even want to see how The Last of Us Part 1, if that gets any enhancements, and getting my hands on the PS5 controller and seeing how that feels, given that it's a little bigger and bulkier, and it's sort of, I prefer my Xbox controller for those reasons, because the PlayStation controller I feel is very small and crunched together and somewhat uncomfortable. This one seems like sort of a wake up and a change and a shift in their controller design, but also keeping some of the same stuff there. I would prefer asymmetrical sticks, but you don't always get everything you want. So I'm really excited to get that control in my hands. It looks amazing. It looks like it feels amazing, and I just can't wait to get that. So yeah, to me, it's more about I want to see how the past catalog runs. Are we getting some of these games running at 60 frames? Will they be at 4K, whatever it may be? I'm just excited to see how the PS5 is gonna run some of these other games, because they have talked on both sides, Xbox and PlayStation, that oh, this game will be enhanced. Control will be enhanced on Series X. They've talked about, Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima, Cyberpunk, all these games talking about, oh yeah, those will be, running in higher resolutions and higher frame rates. And that's what I'm most excited for as a PC gamer, running every game at least 60 frames. It's a world that I'm in now, and I feel very immersed, even more so when I can play the game at that frame rate, and it's just incredible. And so it's kind of hard when I go back to console and I get locked at 30, and then frame rates start dropping due to performance issues. It's just a real problem. Anyway, those are some of the concerns. Those are some of my thoughts. I'm very excited. Like I said, there's a lot of games that don't really tickle my fancy on both sides. Some cartoony stuff, some sort of more childlike games, or some of the anime stuff that's I'm just sort of dipping my toe in on some of that. So some of that is not appealing to me, but I pointed out some of the things that I'm excited for. But yeah, the big things to me are just continuing to play some of my favorite games, running through the Uncharted franchise, the Last of Us games, that's stuff I want to see. I want to see more of these games showing up on PC. Of course, we got Death Stranding that showed up on PC recently. Absolutely loved my playthrough. We've already put 80 hours plus in on that, and I loved every minute of it. And here in about a week, we got Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PC. Just things I never imagined happening, and I'm really loving it. And these games look absolutely gorgeous and drop dead beautiful. They looked amazing on their PS4 console, but it's so amazing to see them running so beautifully and effortlessly on my PC. And playing these games again has been eye-opening. It's been a rediscovering. It's very rare that I feel like I have time to venture back into those worlds, and I love being a part of these worlds. So many thanks for allowing me to do so. This is probably going to be it for Shackcast episode 4. I wanted to just kind of sort of catch up on 2020, our console launches, big video game hype and the Game Pass, and sort of talk about my personal views on that. As far as other games, we got third-party games that are coming out. We're going to have some more discussions about Marvel's Avengers tomorrow because they have the War Table this Wednesday. Very excited about that. And we'll be seeing new games coming out this fall. Very excited for Horizon Zero Dawn. Microsoft Flight Simulator also coming this month. Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. Marvel's Avengers in September. Cyberpunk in September. And of course, Destiny Beyond Light in November. Halo Infinite this holiday. Watch Dogs in October, if that's your thing. Many, many things to be excited about. And I hope that, we can sort of just be excited about these things as gamers and not really be, sort of taking the fanboy sides of, this one's better than this one, or this one's better than that one. Just enjoy what you're getting, and if you prefer this or you prefer that, just do that. Just go there and play the games that you want to play on the respective platform. There's no need to, me as being someone that consumes all the games, and being headquartered on PC, but also, having the freedom and the power to, turn on my Nintendo Switch, the PS4, the Xbox One, all these things, and just the freedom of being able to play the games where they are, and the freedom of that choice. I appreciate that a lot, and I enjoy that, and so that sort of keeps me free from the classic bias between all these platforms. I just enjoy the games, and I'm excited wherever they are, and I can't wait to play some of these games this fall. So I'd like to thank you guys for listening. This is Shackcast, episode 4, 2020 console launches, video games, and Xbox Game Pass. This is Aaron Shack64 signing out. Take care and have a good one. We'll see you next time.